Hi, in this video we're going to cover negative indices, and by that I mean that we've got something to the power of a negative number. Now that seems a bit weird because if I say considered 3 squared, what that means is 3 times 3. If I had, say, 4 cubed, that means 4 times 4 times 4. And basically this index here, or otherwise known as exponent, that tells us how many 4s we're multiplying together. So we've got 3 4s and we're multiplying the 3 4s together, right? Just like 3 squared means we're multiplying 2 3s together. But then if we have something like 4 to the power of negative 2, what does that mean? Because you're not multiplying minus 2 4s together. So how can we work it out? Now, to see what happens, we can sort of observe a pattern, because let's take, for example, 2 cubed. We know that means 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. And if we had 2 squared, we know that means 2 times 2, which is 4. If we had 2 to the power of 1, anything to the power of 1 is itself, so it's just 2. And let's see the pattern of what's happening here. Can you see that these indices here are going down by 1 each time? So this is going down by 1, this index is going down by 1, etc. And each time that index goes down by 1, because we have 1 less 2 that we're multiplying by, you can see that the result gets divided by 2. So that's 2 times smaller, that's 2 times smaller, and we can keep going with this particular pattern. So if we considered 2 to the power of 0, because again, the index has gone down by 1 again, then if we divide the 2 by 2, then we get 1. So anything to the power of 0 is 1. We saw that in a previous video, but let's just keep going. So we could do 2 to the power of minus 1. We could increase this index by 1 more. And then by following this pattern, if we divide by 2, then we've got 1 divided by 2, which is half, if we write it as a fraction. And we can keep on going further. We then have 2 to the power of minus 2. And if we divide by 2 again, we're going to have a quarter. If we have 2 to the power of minus 3, we're going to have divide by 2 again, we're going to get an eighth, etc. So how could we work out 2 to the power of minus 3? Well, notice that 1 over 8 is the same as 1 over 2 cubed. So it seems that when we have a negative index like that, then we do 1 over that same power, but without the negative number. So let's apply that. So if you want a rule that you can write out, it's this. If you have x to the power of minus y, so a negative index, then you just do 1 over and then the same power, but with a positive index instead. So x to the power of positive y. So that is a key result that we're going to use in these few examples we have above. Right, so let's apply it to the first one. We got 4 to the power of negative 2. So we do 1 over, and then that same power, but with positive 2 instead of negative 2. And 4 squared is 16, so it's 1 over 16. What about the next one? It's 3 to the power of minus 1. So we do 1 over 3 to the power of 1. And 3 to the power of 1 is just 3, so we get a third. The next one, 2 to the minus 4, is 1 over 2 to the 4. And 2 to the power of 4 is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, which is 16. And then finally, 3 to the minus 3 is 1 over 3 cubed, which is 1 over 3 times 3 times 3, which is 27. And those are the final answers.